Hey guys, how's it going today? I'm not going to be playing Call of Duty World War II, but that's the game that we are currently in, and I wanted to wait until we had some more time to look at the way that the drops are going to work in this game and everything else. Oh, somebody just prestiged. But I wanted to weigh in my opinion on this game, and I did a review and gave a score for Payday 2 a while ago. I was initially thinking that I might do that for quite a few games, but I don't play enough of the new games that always come out, and a lot of them I really don't even care to play. Here, will commend you. But I figured I'd go ahead and talk about, since Battlefront and everything had all the loot box issues and everything. I never played it, but I did initially like the loot boxes that were implemented by Sledgehammer. The thing that I want to discuss now, though, is whether or not this is pay to win. And in my personal opinion, Call of Duty World War II, with its supply drops and the fact that you can buy CoD points and then get items out of them and other things, it is pay to win, but it is very, very minor. And in my personal opinion, I don't actually care for the pay to win aspect of it. Not the fact that it's in the game, but I personally don't even like it being applied to me. So I have actually purchased some of the supply drops. I bought some of the winter supply ones. I got that special bribe that they had at the end. They had the contracts down here, and two of the contracts I actually still had active. I had one that gave me 2 winter bribes at the end. I had it in my game DVR. I'm not sure if it's... I didn't get to game DVR. Broadcasting captures. Recent captures, see all. We'll go see if it's on here real quick. But anyway, I had the challenge, or the contract. Here it is right here. I'll go ahead and play this while I'm talking over it. I had the contract that gave me 2 winter bribes, and I opened them afterward. And it's kind of hard to see in what is right here. How do I just... That's not it. How do I do it without the stupid thing on there? I'm trying to learn this as I'm going. I capture random clips all the time that I think something cool happens in, or like if there's 7 versus 5 in a match, which is completely unfair. Anyway, I opened up a regular one, and then if you look in the bottom right, for just a split second, the UI was glitched out. That's because the game wasn't meant to have the winter bribes available anymore, but I ended up getting some really good stuff out of them. So I got the Capo Verde, which is no longer available. I got the T, which is no longer available, and then I got the heroic Snowflake, which was the one that I was eyeing up the entire time that the winter stuff was active. Anyway, I just thought it was neat that I was able to go do that. I'm glad they didn't just immediately cancel out some of the stuff. And then I'll just go ahead and show off the collections that I got here from it. So I went through and actually spent armory points to get the GPMG hand warmer. I wasn't concerned about the Gewer. I've actually got one more match that I need to complete before I unlock that to begin with. The ice pick was the first one that I finished. The Sten literally only got the quack shot after it ended, and I got none of these dropped in any of the other winter ones that I got. The trench knife I wasn't going for, however I did get T in that last one. And then I got the Polish winter Naru, which I really like. The winter stuff that ended up dropping, I don't have any of the ones that came without snow, but I like it better with the snow anyway, because it's very obvious that it's a winter drop anyway, even if all of the really heavy coats and stuff. Is anybody wearing any of the winter stuff? Well, this person is, but they've got snow on it. But basically all the winter stuff was, for the most part, covered in snow or big coats, so he's got the big coat on. But I liked the black and gold one, so I ended up getting that one. Now, moving on to the way that the supply drops work and how they are paid to win, there's one portion of it that is very minor that okay, yeah, that was definitely a Panzerschreck somebody shot. Those things are crazy. It's amazing you can shoot down UAVs, because they actually do fly straight for if you're going to end up hitting one naturally. But moving on, there are 2 things. Well, actually, no, there's 3 things that can cause the game to be pay to win. The first part I'm going to talk about is the fact that you saw that I got the Capo Verde out of that. Now, I already had the Snowy GPMG, but if you... yeah, I have one left until I unlock the Gewer. So, once I get the Gewer here, I will have all of the winter stuff earned. So you can earn all of them. The melee weapons require 35 matches total played, and the guns require 50 matches total played, and you can come and get them here as special orders every day, and it changes. So you can... I got the Sten, and then I went... or actually, I got the Ice Pick because it was the first one that I had seen. I got the Sten, and then now I'm working on the Gewer. The GPMG I got out of a drop, or got out of collections, and then I got the trench knife out of a drop, and I actually got a really good variant of it. I got the Teeth Grinder 2, so it looks really awesome. Anyway, so that's one way that the game ends up being pay to win, is the idea that you can get better guns because the Sten is the exact same stat-wise as the MP40, and then they have very similar recoil patterns, and they're both very solid guns. I loved the MP40, and personally, I've loved the Sten in every single game that I've ever played with it in. In Black Ops 1, with the mission where you get to play with the Sten, I loved that, and then I liked it in Medal of Honor when that was, you know, like the first 2 games. I think it was in the second one. I don't remember if it was in the first. But anyway, that is one way, is that you can actually get better guns faster if you happen to pay money. Now, they can still be earned, so it isn't that big of a deal, but it's just a little bit of a boost right away at the beginning if you don't want to wait the whole 50 matches. But if somebody happens to be dedicated, I mean, they could get the 50 matches done in one day and have their new weapon. Next thing I'm going to talk about is the weapon variants. So, the Capo Verde I received, but I already had the wintry GPMG. Now, this one was through collections, which anybody can do to begin with. It is through supply drops. They can be earned, so there's the speeding up that small portion of it. Also, I'm making a pizza. I got to keep my eye on the time. There's that small portion of it that I'm kind of overlooking because everybody has access to these. Everybody has access to the other things. I kind of already went over the fact that you can get them early, but the items that you get, the different variants, the only difference that the weapons have is that they look slightly different. Now, for a couple of the weapons, this means that they... how do I just mute all of game chat?
Come on.
Who the fuck is talking? That's so annoying. Anyway, certain variants do change the way that the gun happens to look, rather than just giving it like a slightly different thing. Like, for instance, the Midnight, it has a slightly different look, however, I just like it for the black and gold. Some things, for instance, here I have the MG15, so this is the normal. The Blade 2 makes it an enormous barrel, and then the Shorty actually makes it super small. So if we go ahead and grab the MG15 here and take this to the firing range, looking at it, I'm just holding out a big bar. Now, if I take it and go to the Blade 2, take this to the firing range, it's obviously much larger. There's a little bit visual difference on what you are able to see based off of it, and the sights are different. Now I'm going to go ahead and grab the Shorty 2, and we're going to take this one in. So this one is even smaller, and it has different sights on it. This doesn't change the way that the gun behaves in any way. It only changes the visual aspect of it. So if this particular way that the sight is set up happens to actually be more beneficial to you, for instance, I believe it was a WWII variant. The WWII itself and then the oil can have a iron sight that I personally don't care too much for, and I picked up somebody's Soggy when I was playing with it, and this, for some reason, it was way easier for me to lock onto heads and keep it steady. I don't know. I mean, obviously the gun does not change in any way whatsoever, but the iron sights did look a whole lot better. This is also really apparent if you happen to be going into the pistols here. So if you look at the machine pistol, I actually haven't even used the Hulls pistol yet after I got it. Anyway, if you look down the sights of this, it is literally just a big square with a little spot that actually has the bullets. And I hate the iron sights on this, and I hate the iron sights on the P08. I can't wait for them to add a new pistol because it's going to be awesome by comparison. So if we happen to pull out the Hulls pistol then, the iron sights on this, they're better or worse depending on how you like to use the gun. Personally, I find them to be a little bit better, and I like that I managed to actually get a heroic variant of a pistol because they were the first thing I finished. The next thing I finished was the melee. My pizza should just about be done. But anyway, that's the other small portion of it that happens to be pay to win, is that you can get better variants with slightly better visual aspects. Like you can have something that is more your preference based off of the way that you play and the way that your eyes happen to work, like where your eyes fall on the screen for certain things, how you end up tracking things based on how you personally end up playing the game. It may or may not end up helping you, and that's the very small portion. Now, the dumbest part about this, the thing that actually makes it feel like it's pay to win, is the thing that I hate most about it. When I open up supply drop and I drop it down, I want to see things popping out. I want the things that are nothing but aesthetics. I want my different clothing to wear. I want my calling cards. I want my emblems, all of that stuff. I absolutely want the weapon variants because honestly, the diamond camo does not look good on like the default pistols. It only looks good on the heroic versions because otherwise the wear actually takes off some of your camo. But the dumbest thing that makes the game pay to win the most is the fact that when you get drops, when you open a supply drop, rather than getting something that looks good for your aesthetic stuff, it drops you like 15 minutes of like 25% bonus XP for either your division, your level, or your weapons. And it's such a small thing that is so insignificant to me personally that it really doesn't even matter. But this is the thing that people were having an issue with about like Battlefront 2, them like throttling the amount of XP that you get. Every time I open a supply drop and I see a heroic pop up, I'm a little bit excited, and then when it turns over and all I see is 15 minutes on that stupid purple banner, I hate it every single time. I cannot stand when they just drop XP on me rather than giving me anything else. I don't care. Drop me a legendary armory credits, even though, because I personally prefer heroics, I don't really like the variants that you can get out of here, because all of these that don't have a 2 at the end of them, so Shackman, that's by itself. Shackman 2 is a pristine version of that skin. It looks way, way better. So a few of these, the candy I actually earned without buying any of those, the same with a couple other of these. But you can get these weapons out of drops, and they look better because the versions that you get are the second version. Where is it? There's one particularly. Midnight. I have the Midnight 2. It looks way better, so I would never buy this. The only reason to use armory credits would be if there happens to be a specific one that you really want, or if you happen to actually want the zombie perk for these. So like Emergency Nurse, I really don't care about the slight amount of dirt that was on the leggings. The Jupiter, I just wanted to have a different pistol variant that wasn't literally that. Bite the Dust, I have the second version of this, and it doesn't have the zombie perk. If I were to get this, I would then have the zombie perk. That's the only bonus that getting these have, aside from actually just having a different variant of it. So for instance, the Thunderclap, it's only 1,425. I'm probably going to just end up buying this one because I don't have a Panzerschreck variant, and I would rather have a little bit of black and gold than just the normal thing. Also, I need to go get my pizza now. Anyway, so that's my weigh in on whether or not the game is pay to win. It does have some slight pay to win aspects, but they really don't make a huge deal in the end. And I mean, if you happen to play more than 10 minutes a day, you can make up for it, and it won't feel like you're years behind everybody else. So I just figured I'd make this talking about it and the way that the drops work. The thing that annoyed me about the winter supply thing, besides the fact that it ended and you can no longer get them, so I feel special about the ones that I got, but I'm a little disappointed about the ones I didn't get, is the fact that they started off, they had a topper bundle which was 5 rare, 1 winter. They changed it so that it was 5 winter, 1 rare. They changed it again so that way you had 10 winter and 2 rare, and then they did the final one for like the last 3 or 4 days where it was 5 winter bribes, 5 rare bribes, and then 5 rare zombie bribes, or not bribes, but 5 rare zombie drops. And the fact that they started off crappy and got better as it progressed was really annoying. It should reward the people that come in first, and then it should have just been one straight thing the entire time. And if it wasn't, they should have like made an announcement that said, hey, at the end of this we'll have a big going out party, and then give you those really big ones. Because if people happen to decide that they're going to get some of them, they blow their money on the early stuff, and then they don't end up getting the stuff at like the end of the event, even if they would have been able to get better stuff from it. Because like you saw, I had those last 2 bribes that I got. Good stuff out of them. Oh yeah. Anyway, thank you guys for watching, listening to me rant, and I don't suspect this is information that really is all that useful, but I felt like talking about it. So if you didn't enjoy, I'm sorry, but yeah, it is what it is. So I'll see you guys next time, or if you didn't like it, I'll see you never. Either way, it really doesn't affect me like on a personal level. If you did get offended or don't like it, because I'm shutting up now. I need to go get my pizza.